So in a big win for President Trump, nearly all NATO allies signed a pledge to boost military spending. The president had long called on Europe to contribute more for its own defense, and he applauds the world leaders who are stepping up.
And as you know, it was 2%, and we got it up to 5%. And they said, a couple of them came up to me, one in particular said, "Sir, we've been trying to get it up to 3% for 20 years, and we haven't been able, and you got it up to 5%. So they're going to be, most of them, I guess almost all of them, are going to be contributing now, 5%, a number that people are surprised at, but you need it today.
Let's bring in U.S. Ambassador to NATO, Matt Whitaker. Ambassador Whitaker, why are these NATO countries, why are they suddenly so willing to up their defense spending?
Well, I think there's several reasons. First is obviously we live in a very dangerous world. Here in Europe and across the Euro-Atlantic Alliance, Russia and their, war in Ukraine has, I think, opened a lot of eyes as to, especially on the eastern flank of NATO with the Baltics and Poland and others, that they've had to recalculate their security situation. I think you also see a global security posture that is equally dangerous. But, John, what really happened was Donald Trump was elected. And by his election and him insisting that our European allies step up, equalize with the United States, and do so much more to provide for their own defense, that's what's really changed this. And so it took many of these countries 11 years to get to 2%. And now, over the next decade, we're going to see some allies almost are at 5% right now, and all of the allies will be there. And so it's an exciting moment here at NATO, and at the same time, the security posture and the security needs across the alliance just require a lot more investment.
Here's the ranking we have right now, topping the list, ahead even of the United States, according to this research, is Poland. Now, they've got Ukraine right next door, and obviously, there are a lot of concerns in Poland about what the Russians might want to do. But Poland, number one on the list at 4.12% of their GDP. Then little Estonia comes in at 3.43%, and the U.S. just behind them at 3.38%. Spain down there at the bottom at 1.28%. But you say everybody is going to be boosting their spending.
Yeah, and what we're seeing, John, is that not only are they going to be boosting their spending, they are already boosting their spending. We've seen just in the last year, really since the election of Donald Trump in November, you've seen hundreds of billions of dollars being spent on defense and the needed upgrades. And I saw that firsthand when I visited the tank plant in Lima, Ohio. And I saw Polish tanks rolling off the line there in Lima, Ohio. And you see it with F-35s. We just had Great Britain announce the purchase of dual capability F-35s. And so, there's a lot of needs, a lot of upgrades, and a lot of security requirements that are going to be necessary over the next decade. And I'm excited that our allies are finally investing. The United States spends almost $1 trillion on its own defense and the defense of our allies, and so it's good to see everyone trying to meet and equalize with us at that.
None other than the Secretary General of NATO, Mark Rutte, says that President Trump gets the credit here for this boost in defense spending. Listen to the Secretary.
I mean, would you ever think that this would be the result of this summit if he would not have been re-elected president? Do you really think that 7 or 8 countries who said, yeah, somewhere in the 2030s we might meet the 2%? We've now all decided in the last 4 or 5 months to get to 2%. So doesn't he deserve some praise?
It's kind of rare for Europeans to, praise an American leader, but he seems pretty happy with what President Trump has engineered here.
Yeah, all allies should be happy, because what we also saw after the Iranian bombing by the United States military is our allies wanted to be a part of that. They wanted to be allied with a country that can do that can fly bombers from Kansas City with unseen, bomb and return home and have dinner with their families. And so, that's what why our allies want to come alongside, shoulder to shoulder with the United States of America. But Mark Rutte is absolutely right. Donald Trump deserves the credit for this. He is the one that drove this deal. He's the one that urged our allies to spend a lot more on their own defense and the collective defense, and he has delivered an enormous win for the American people and for global security.
In some respects, you have to wonder whether Vladimir Putin made a colossal miscalculation here with his invasion of Ukraine, because he seems to have, helped steal NATO, if you will, STWL, steal NATO against the possibility of further Russian invasions.
Yeah, John, that's a very insightful point. I think, NATO allies have all laser focused back on their own defense and security. They've done away with all the unnecessary things, all of the expeditionary ideas that the alliance had, and they are focused on Russia, especially here in Europe. And at the same time, remember, Sweden and Finland joined the alliance over the last couple of years as well, which has really added two very capable allies to the alliance and made it much stronger with their industrial capacity and their militaries.
Matt Whitaker, the ambassador to NATO. It's good to have you on. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you, John. Thank you.
You too.
Fox News Channel, FNC, is a 24-hour all-encompassing news service delivering breaking news as well as political and business news. The #1 network in cable, FNC has been the most watched television news channel for 18 consecutive years. According to a 2020 Brand Keys Consumer Loyalty Engagement Index report, Fox News is the top brand in the country for morning and evening news coverage. A 2019 Suffolk University poll named Fox News as the most trusted source for television news or commentary, while a 2019 Brand Keys Emotion Engagement Analysis survey found that Fox News was the most trusted cable news brand. A 2017 Gallup Knight Foundation survey also found that among Americans who could name an objective news source, Fox News was the